Hey, you clicked on my video. Appreciate it. Now be sure to like the video and subscribe to the page. Long enough to cover the subject and short enough to keep it interesting. Welcome to Out of My League. I'm Nick Diaz. LSU just beat Missouri in the SEC tournament. Mizzou fucking sucks ass. There's nothing really to break down here. Tomorrow's game against Arkansas will be interesting because, LSU, they're in the tournament regardless, but it could definitely help LSU for sure stay off 8-9 line. But I think LSU's off it anyway because both CBS and ESPN both currently project LSU as a 5 seed, which is interesting. But who knows? But that's not what I'm here to talk about. What I'm here to talk about is LSU fans have all been given a Sophie's choice. Keep Will Wade, but hurt the football program, or fire Will Wade and save the football program. The screwed up thing about this is that it isn't a hypothetical. This is a very real choice LSU may, very possibly, have to make in the near future. The NCAA has put the Our Lady of Lake and the OBJ bullshit stuff that still pisses me off back in the mix and thrown it into the LSU men's basketball case all as one. LSU men's basketball gets a level 1 or 2 violation, so does football. And if that happens, then you get the second worst punishment besides the death penalty in all of college athletics. You get slapped with the lack of institutional control. That's not what you want. And the only deal that will satisfy the NCAA is LSU sacrificing Will Wade as a peace offering. Now, I'm not saying any of this will happen because the NCAA still may not have a damn thing in that notice, but it's also very real that they could. But it very well could happen. So, I'm no longer asking Scott Woodward or William Tate. I'm asking you, LSU fan. Sophie's choice. It's time to face the music. Do you keep Will Wade and hurt the football program as well, or fire Wade to save the football program and possibly the entire athletic department? Y'all can leave a comment below on what you think LSU should do, but I'm going to tell you what I would do. I would sacrifice Will Wade in a heartbeat. I hate to say it, but I would, and I wouldn't hesitate. Will Wade is my favorite coach at LSU. Has been for the last 5 years, maybe even still more than Kim Mulkey, who's given him a run for his money as my favorite coach. Even still, he's my favorite coach. But I would do it in a heartbeat. I would use Will Wade as the sacrificial lamb. It would break my heart to do it, but I'd do it. And any LSU fan that thinks one person, especially a basketball coach, is bigger than the entire football program is either A, lying to themselves, or is ignorant of just how important football is to a university, especially like LSU. Football pays for every other sport not named men's basketball or LSU baseball. Football increases out-of-state enrollment and academic standards. Football has the ability to give a $500 million surplus to the state economy. You are essentially saying, I'm going to keep one of my best friends in order to sacrifice my entire immediate family, aunts, uncles, cousins, grandparents, nieces, nephews, in-laws instead. Now, the argument of, well, Scott Woodward, he's the big game hunter. He could hire somebody better. Just put that aside for a moment. And think about how you just paid over $17 million to make one football coach go away, then paid $100 million to get a 60-year-old coach to leave Notre Dame and come to LSU, and you're going to give him an NCAA violation to start out with? No. Sophie's choice. It's a horrible situation to be in. But there is a clear answer here. Some of you just don't want to admit it. Nothing is bigger than the football program. Nothing. And anyone who says Scott Woodward would be doing the wrong thing and he would lose Curry with LSU fans, look, I know I'm the guy with the show titled Out of My League, but I'm here to tell you those people don't know what they're talking about. As much as it pains me to say it, I'd sacrifice Will Wade in a heartbeat. But Jesus, I hope it doesn't come to that. So Tuesday, I asked the question, should LSU start tinkering their infield right now before SEC play? Because it really can't get much worse than what it's been on defense. The errors have been horrible. And I gave my examples of what I would try to do. Maybe move Gio to outfield, Barry to DH, Merrifield to second, Doty to third. I gave plenty of reasons why. So I was eager to see in the midweek against McNeese State what changes or tinkers Jay Johnson would make to the infield or the lineup. And he didn't. It was the exact same. And honestly, I wasn't as disappointed as you think. Because there's two ways to go about this as a head coach. One, change what looks broken, which seems obvious. And two, is show confidence in your guys by throwing them back out there. Jay Johnson decided to do the latter against McNeese, and it worked. No errors on the day. Barry in the outfield had an unbelievable diving catch in right field. And look, I don't care if it's against McNeese. One, McNeese actually went to a regional last year, so they're pretty good. And two, fielding is fielding. It's promising. It's promising. No errors is a big, big step up. Now, someone who knows baseball better than I do was telling me the other day, look, you're thinking about this too differently from other sports. Let's say you're LSU Football and you have, a personnel that can run the spread, but you've been running pro style the past few years. Now, it's not that you don't have the talent to do it. It's just a matter of getting guys who know how to do it, getting guys comfortable with it, and getting guys who know how to teach it. That can be a process. Well, baseball, although they're very different sports, is really no different than most team sports, especially football. Jay Johnson runs a different system in every possible way from what Paul Mainieri ran. Every possible way. And all the guys who are making mistakes in the field, they didn't make those mistakes last year, and they are talented enough to be good at their new positions that they're playing. Jay Johnson said in the presser, I think yesterday, did you ever think about switching, the infield up a little bit? And he said, yeah, it crossed my mind. I thought about it a little bit this week. But then I decided I wasn't going to. Why? Because this lineup, currently, this infield, where they're stacked up right now defensively, they have too much potential to just give up on them this easily and this early. I'm willing to sacrifice a few more sloppy games or weeks until they get their feet under them and shake off the rust of their new positions and the new system they're running. Because Jay Johnson essentially said there was zero indication of these defensive problems and errors in the offseason or in fall scrimmages, spring scrimmages whatsoever. Zero indication. It totally shocked him, caught him off guard. Their fundamentals on defense aren't exactly broken. It's just a matter of execution. Matter of getting comfortable. So that answers my question from earlier this week. Is this a lineup that needs tinkering, or is this just a dramatic preseason slump that got out of hand really, really quickly and it escalated? Well, if you watch last night's game and that kind of defensive performance, which wasn't perfect despite no errors, if that continues this weekend against Bethune-Cook, well, that might just tell us that it's just guys learning a new system. Thanks for listening to Out of My League. If you like what you heard, be sure to like, share, and subscribe, or follow me on Twitter and Facebook in the description link below.